You are who you believe you are. You become what you believe about yourself. And I'm sure many of you would have heard these kind of statements or phrases repeated over and over many times before and in even several forms. So if you've ever wondered, why do you keep replicating those experiences in your life? Why do you keep going through different experiences yet produce the same feelings, emotions, and results over and over? What's all about those recurring patterns in your life? Whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your relationship with things, in your job, or your relationship with money, for example. What determines that success in business or not? This is all stems back to this topic, and it's not just spiritual or energetic in a sense. I mean, everything is spiritual by nature. It all starts and ends with energy and with your vibrational frequency. Your vibrational frequency is what determines anything that's created into your life, anything that is manifested in your life. You are what you align yourself with. And so if you believe long enough in something and then it imprints onto your subconscious, what happens is that it gets projected into your energetic field. It gets projected onto your frequency, and that determines how you're going to keep living next, what's going to be manifested and created in your life next. But the thing is, to get a clearer picture, to have a better clarification, you need to know where this all stems from. What is the root to all of this? And to know this, you need to know what determines this frequency to begin with, how to even change this frequency, how to change your alignment, and so on. And to approach this, it's not just in a hypothetical sense. For example, it is as real as it gets, and it is physical, it is neurochemical, it is biological, and it's even psychological. Let's take psychology, for example. In psychology, in all kinds of behavioral change models and behavioral change theories, on how in all of the theories since the 60s or the 40s that the first theory that ever came out, there is a recurring concept which is self-efficacy. And it basically states that in order for you to be able to change, to successfully change and maintain a certain behavioral change, you have to believe in yourself being able to conduct that kind of change. You have to know that you have the power in yourself to actually implement this behavioral change. And you even see leads to that and stems to this concept all over in psychology, like the self-determination theory, for example, which states that in order for you to evolve mentally, to evolve on a mental level, to go through an mental change, you need to know that you are able to make a promise to yourself and actually fulfill it. You need to know, you need to be aware of yourself being able to actually say that you're gonna take this kind of action or do this kind of change in your life, and actually realize yourself being able to conduct this promise to yourself, to actually implement it in real life. This is one of the requirements to actually evolve mentally. And so if you don't have all of these beliefs about yourself, if you don't have all of these constructs in your head that you're actually able to, that you are actually seeing yourself doing difference, that you are able, then it blocks the connection to your body. It blocks the ability of your body to do so. So it's not just in the mind. As I said, it is physical, it is biological, it is neurochemical. And that's what we're gonna get into next. For example, the study on epigenetics. And some of the leading faces in these studies, for example, is Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton as well. And although the common science did not embrace these concepts, did not really adopt these kind of epigenetic studies, it is as real as it gets. And essentially, or basically, what it dictates is that everything you experience in your head imprints on your body, imprints on your cells, imprints on your DNA as well. So everything you experience around you, everything you experience within you in the mind, your environment, what people around you are telling you about yourself, or what people around you are telling you is the truth, and what they are showing you to be the truth. So even who you surround yourself with, it affects you. And what essentially it all goes back to how much you are influenced by these people, and more importantly, what do you think of yourself? What do you think about yourself? What do you think you're capable of? Do you think that can you imagine yourself, for example, waking up tomorrow living your dream life? Can you imagine yourself unlocking that potential that you know is very well within your innate potential? That can you pursue your purpose starting from tomorrow? Do you believe yourself? Can you go to bed tonight and with the actual belief to your core that you are gonna wake up tomorrow with this kind of fulfillment in your life, with this goal achieved? And depending on the extent of this belief, your body is affected. And what that means is that even your cellular regeneration that happens every minute, every day, you are someone new basically, because your cells are all regenerated. They die off and they come out as new cells. And so what is imprinted on those cells that actually are the reason you are able to be in this solid form, that are actually who you are in a sense, is based on what you believe about yourself and what you believe about what is around you. And even your past affects these kind of thoughts. Your past, you see the future through your past. If you know you've experienced something in the past and it yielded this kind of result, then it's already, and you buried it deep down as a truth in your life, then every time you're faced with something similar, or this experience tries to manifest into your life, this is your fixed belief towards this experience. You know that if I do this, it's gonna yield in this. And so you go in with this mentality, even if it's not your conscious, even if you feel fearful and try to, but if you deeply down believe that this is what's gonna happen, if that's something that's in your subconscious and it's something that caused you fear at some point, and you did not address this fear, you did not realize that this fear was just based on one experience, was just based at every little thing included at that time, and not necessarily is gonna be a recurrent thing in your life. If you go on to any experience with this mentality, with this subconscious, with this in your subconscious, then it ends up manifesting over and over again. And this takes us to what Dr. Joe Dispenza was saying, and this even relates to how you're gonna heal, because even healing those things and changing these constructs in your mind could be very tricky, because essentially, basically, your memory fools you. Your memory is not what you think it is. 50% of your memory is actually not what it seems to be as. So 50% of your memory is not true according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, bear in mind that he spent his entire life trying to study the effects of our thoughts, of our mind on our reality, how it affects our reality and how it affects our body, and how these all manifests onto what we create next in our life. So if your thoughts affects the cells and it affects your bodily functions, because essentially the cells are how you function, how you move around, it all starts with the neural pathways from the brain, and then it sends those signals through neurotransmitters all over your body. So if it's not even there to send these there, if the subconscious is telling your body that this is how it's gonna happen, then your ego is not trying to get those signals. The ego won't let your brain to send those signals to your body in order for you to take that fearful experience, for example. And believe it or not, but your subconscious your mind has this innate knowledge and source information that is already within you, and the subconscious tunes into whatever information or knowledge that you seek and gives it to you. It tunes into this knowledge in order for you to be able to move forward with your journey. So if you take a step and then you require some kind of information or knowledge or a feeling to be awakened within you, the subconscious tunes in into this and gives it to you. And that's why they tell you, if you know your next step, just take your next step, and then things are gonna get clear. You're gonna open those pathways, and your energy is gonna align with progress, and then it's gonna call onto the path to progress, onto the key to this progress, and so it keeps continuing. But if your ego doesn't allow this, if your ego knows that this to be true, that this experience could end in failure, that this experience is gonna yield pain back on me, then it won't allow your subconscious to actually pass on this information through you. It won't allow you to tune in into this source consciousness, into this pure consciousness, to get whatever you need out from it. But the thing is, as I was saying, that 50% of your memory is not even true. So you keep replicating those experiences just based on what you experienced as a child. For example, if you think about a memory, if you recall a memory now from your past, something that might have hurt you or shocked you at your young age, and from your perspective at this point, at this age, as an adult, you might not realize that it was traumatizing. You might not realize that it was created as a pattern that's going to be repeated over and over as in your life. You're not going to realize that this is how you see the truth about it. But as your child, this is, as your perspective as a child, it was already saved, that this is, every time I experience this, every time I do this kind of thing, every time I go out, for example, every time I try to indulge in this kind of experience, I'm gonna feel this way, I'm gonna feel bad way. Your ego made sense out of things that happened to you as a child to the best of its ability, and it's already saved, and it's recorded in your body, it's recorded in your subconscious. But when you think about it now, you don't see it as that much of an obstacle or a blockage in your life. But that's the thing. Whenever you are going into something new, your subconscious refers back to the real feelings that you experienced at that time, and not what you are experiencing right now, what you are thinking about it right now. And so it only recreates it in your mind as a bad experience. It recreates those bad feelings, and those prevent you from actually moving forward with it. What Dr. Joe Dispenza was essentially saying is that you embellish your memories, you adorn, you design those memories in a different way than what they were truly are, to replicate the feelings you experienced at that time you went through this memory. So if you felt hurt at that time, now you already attributed this experience to being hurt. But now when you think about it, it might not feel as something hurtful, it might not feel as something that caused you pain, although it is already recorded in your subconscious that it is. And that is the problem. You keep living out of a fake memory, you keep living out, and your memory is essentially what creates your experience, your next progress, your next creation in this life. And it imprints onto your energetic field, it imprints into your frequency, and this determines your alignment and what you resonate with, and then it tends to be recreated over and over in your life. And essentially you are not becoming a creator in your life, you are not tuning into those co-creation powers you have, because you keep living based on automation, on that autopilot. You are not doing whenever you feel that this experience is scary to you, whenever your body feels reluctant to this action or experience or whatever, you don't do it. And so there is no active creation in this aspect. You are just acting based on your memory, based on what you were conditioned to, based on how you were programmed and wired, how your software is, what that is, the subconscious. So there is no alignment of being in control of your life. There is no alignment with creation in your life. So you only tend to recreate things get manifested in your life that are not really manifested in your eyes, that as if they were never in your control. So every time you do something, it won't yield the results you are seeking, because you are not really an active creator, you are only functioning on automation. And so it's gonna keep recreating those results. And that's why you should be very careful with your thoughts. That's why you should be very intentional with your living. That's why you should do whatever might feel fearful, if you are split between two decisions and one is out of your comfort zone, one is within your comfort zone, yet you know this has a bigger possibility or probability of taking you to your desired destination, although your body might feel very reluctant to taking this step, you should take what's not familiar to you. And I've just recently released a video on diving into the unknown, that the unknown is actually the portal to your infinite potential. It is the portal to whatever you are seeking in your life. It is the portal to your truth, essentially, because your truth is your purpose, and your purpose is going to give you all the fulfillment you need out of this life. And so the next time, just think deeply, think thoroughly. Is this really what you want your relationship to be with this thing? Is this already something? Is there a blockage I'm experiencing that is preventing my body from leading me to taking this step or action? And whatever you are, you heal this gradually. Eventually you start changing bit by bit, and you manifest, you align with your truth, you align with truth in general, you align with creation, and you start manifesting as you live. You start attracting and manifesting every day, every experience as if it was created in your eyes. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video for many more.